Got some interesting news coming out right now. Amir made some comments recently, and this is one of the perfect people to speak right now because this guy's a 147 pounder who went up to fight Canelo Alvarez, and he was saying recently that when asked about who's the hardest hitting puncher that he's faced in his career, because you know that Amir Khan has faced guys like Terrence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, many others. You know, he has a extraordinary resume. Even though his career didn't go all the way to the expectations it had, he still has a good career. And Amir Khan has commented and said that a person who is not the guy who punches the hardest is Canelo Alvarez. Now, I thought Canelo would have been the hardest puncher that Amir Khan has faced in his career. And Amir Khan is a guy that people feel like is chinny and doesn't really take punches very well. And Amir Khan said when he was asked about the person who punches the hardest, he was saying that it's not about the flash knockdowns. A lot of those knockdowns are like flash knockdowns. But he was saying when he faced this guy that I'm about to name, he said that he was a bone bruiser. He punches very hard, way harder than what Canelo had punched. And he was saying that it felt like just everything was hurting as far as his body and the impact of the punches and just everything overall. And just punched hard. Solid, hard puncher. It wasn't like flash knockdowns or just because Amir Khan said he's been hit before with flash knockdowns, got up and not really been hurt. But he said as far as in this fight against this guy, he doesn't even remember the first round. And the guy I'm referring to is none other than Chino Marcos Maidana. And that's pretty crazy. Maidana was definitely a guy who could punch very hard. That was a guy who kind of changed the way Adrian Broner was fighting a lot of times. I want to say and then when people say, well, yeah, guys get damaged. Well, Adrian Broner was damaged in that fight. And it wasn't a good sight to see. But at the end of the day, Amir Khan is just speaking on his opinions as far as who he feels like is the hardest puncher. I'm not really offended because he didn't say Terrence Crawford or anything like that. That didn't really come to my mind as far as if Terrence Crawford was the hardest puncher and everything else. I know he's the most technical guy he's been in the ring with because Amir Khan got outboxed all the way through that fight. He didn't really need no power for that situation. Yeah, I definitely know he's the one of the best boxers, but as far as the power, yeah, I can see that he has he makes a lot of sense when he speaks on that because the power is something that's lacking in a lot of situations, especially in that situation with just comparing that to Terrence Crawford, Canelo, and other guys. There's not really a lot of power when you can compare those guys. So that's going to be the upper echelon overall. But, yeah, it's a lot of power lacking on the resume as far as comparing to those guys. But Maidana definitely holds up very well. He gave everybody, he was more powerful than most people he stepped in the ring with. So it definitely makes a lot of sense that people would actually say that. So I don't know, it doesn't really confuse me. I'm not really confused or blown away or surprised. I feel like that was kind of how most people would feel in that situation. It didn't really confuse me. I feel like most people felt like Maidana was one of the hardest punchers. Even if you ask them right now, and you look at the people that Maidana's fought, or he's had a tough time with, or he's beat, or he's upset, you can definitely see why Maidana is at the top of that list. The guy's a tough fighter. It's not an easy fight. He never was. Fought Floyd twice for a reason. But Yeah, Amir Khan definitely said Maidana. Surprising.